Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another vlogging on the go. And I am really kicking it old school right here at Sunalta School for two reasons that I'm really kicking it old school. Well, as you can see, this is one of these classic sandstone schools built in the city of Calgary in its early days. This school says 1912, so this is the oldest school that I went to on my educational journey, even older than my old high school at Crescent Heights or even Heritage Hall at SAIT. However, another reason I'm kicking it old school, I went to kindergarten here 34 years ago. So my memory is really going to be foggy looking back. I do remember going here. I do remember, the inside of the school in some parts, but I know obviously around the area has changed, especially in the community of Sunalta. But let's just do my usual walk around. I'm not going to quite do this one in one take because there's one view that I get on the pedestrian bridge that you can kind of see both where it started and where it gone, where I'm in the city. But this is near Crowchild Trail and just out the Boat Trail, and just walk around like I usually do. And there's definitely one new addition to this school. But I remember going here briefly. As I'm saying, this was 34 years ago that I went here. I know it was during the 1988 Winter Olympics, so I was just over 5 years old at the time. I remember bus rides here. Once again, as I mentioned in my earlier elementary videos, well, this is where I went to school before I went to James Short, and then I also went to Dr. Oakley. That I was diagnosed with a learning disability in my early childhood. I know I was very weak in English and comprehension, and I think the name of the program I was in was actually called Sunalta, so it's the school name after that. But this part I know I'm looking at right here, I don't remember this part here. It was fairly new, this new addition to the school. As I walk down here in the playground, I mean, I kind of remember spending some time playing. This is kindergarten I'm talking about, and not too sure if I had full or half day, if I remember. I just remember being bused here, but obviously you can see the changes. I mean, this is along Crowchild Trail and Boat Trail. You get to see the Foothills Hospital and the new cancer center being built. So you pan around, I mean, you got the old campus, and there's one view that I'll look at the pedestrian bridge that's near the school here that I'm always going to call SAIT the old campus. No, I'm always going to call it that because that's where eventually I went, but this is where it all began for me. And then here's the city skyline, and yes, you get the iconic Calgary Tower. But you can pan out right here, you can see here's the old sandstone building. And one thing you can definitely notice, given the time, this is the boys' side, as you can see, hanging in boys, but it was not separated that by the time when I was going here back in 1987 going into 1988, because in the 1988-89 school year, that's when I went to James Short Memorial. And I also do know at the time that the Marlborough Park Community Center, I briefly remember it opening at that time, and remember the new smell eventually wore off. But I know this is where I went to kindergarten. This all goes back to me having learning disability. I mean, I know going back, I do remember, even during my other elementary school days, that I get pulled out of class and talk to, grown-ups, or you understand. I just wasn't aware of it at the time. And of course, I think the other thing I briefly do remember, being in kindergarten, this is the first time that you're away from home, and then suddenly you get grown-ups talking that baby talk to you, which I find funny when people do that to dogs, but that was just weird when you have strangers and other grown-ups talking to you. But going back to this new addition, I know that this was not here, or at least I don't remember. I remember seeing it being built over time, and again, nice, mural, as you can see right here. I know that going to Dr. Oakley on the bus, I always went by this school many times. If you were one way you can get to Marlborough Loop is drive down Crowchild Trail, which is right here, to 33rd Avenue. But I know this is fairly new because I think this is an addition I mean, the original school was built in 1912, and I'll go walk my way around where I think that's where the only possible way I could have come in and out from the bus is there's a historical plaque. But yeah, this is nice. I mean, you can see, you know, just I think this is kind of the kids' point of view. I'm sure this project probably was something that drawn on a small scale, or some kids make contributions to it, and then it gets added on. I mean, you can see the modern skyline. I mean, I think that's kind of the rendition of the Saddle Dome. Of course, the Calgary Tower, that kind of might be Bankers Hall. And then you got the Bow Building, so yeah, you can kind of get the rendition of that. So continue walking my way around, and then that's that pedestrian bridge. There'll be another view that I'll do probably in a separate video clip. I was going to walk my way around because both of the view that you get up there plus this mural, I mean, you get this nice view right here, but here it's kind of tight because you got the fence right here, and then it does say Sunalta School up there. I've also seen on Google Maps that they kind of call it Sunalta and Scarborough, which is the name of the communities nearby in Calgary, or together, and that's Sonora Avenue, if I said it right. That's the address where the school is on. But you can see right here, you get that, you know, classic sandstone touch, 1912, and then pan over, you can see Sunalta School. You actually get a better view of this from the pedestrian bridge, which I'll get you, and I'll make that a separate clip. I mean, I don't see a date on when this mural was unveiled, but kind of gets the character of the city right here. Oh, a hot air balloon. I do remember one time when I was in the school right here. Speaking of hot air balloon, I know that I touched upon that. Sometimes I got taken out of class to talk to some specialists, which didn't know at the time why, but I did remember seeing a hot air balloon flying by one of these windows and actually seeing the people in the basket. But yeah, you get the profile of the sandstone building right here. Yeah, you can kind of see the news section right here, Sunalta School. And I don't remember the grades when I was coming here. I mean, things change as I've known when you look at the profile of the school, but this one says it's K to 6, kindergarten to grade 6. I don't think I remember that range of students when I was coming here, but we're talking about 34 years ago and not fully aware. I think there was also a time that I missed a week of school because I think there was a bad snowstorm and the bus didn't come to pick me up. But now I'm approaching the area where this would have to be the only possible way that I've come in and out, and you can kind of see the side profile of the school. You get to see the, you know, the stairwell going out, the old-fashioned stairwell, and then this is where you eventually see the girls' side, which I think that just shows at the time when these kind of schools were separated by the, you know, boys and girls. You can see this nice profile. I know that I work in the engineering plant industry. I don't personally worked on the schools like from construction, but I've seen presentations, and this is the oldest school that I attended in terms of the age of the building. So you go out, and I'll eventually walk up to the plaque that we'll see here, but I just kind of like this style of school. Not too sure what the newest school is. I mean, it would have to be the ones that I was in the Northeast with James Short, and I still got to do Cappy Smart and Dr. Egbert, which I'll do that after this, probably next weekend. But those schools are built in the 1970s, and it kind of felt that bland style. But seeing at modern schools today, with colleagues that work on, I was kind of thinking, gee, I wish I had those amenities when I was going to school. But here's another historical plaque that I'll talk on about this school. This is what I say, I'm really kicking it old school, being that I went to kindergarten here, and this is the oldest school right here. So here's Sunalta School, and it says Sunalta School was completed in 1913. Its hilltop site at the outer edge of the city has been deliberately chosen as the classical detailing and massive form. They reflected the prosperity of the new city and the importance of given to education. The two other sandstone schools were built on elevated sites at the same time and had the same design, which that's the thing that you see around the city, especially in the inner city. Like, they all kind of look the same. I mean, I looked at the Marlborough School, which that traced back to where the Crescent Heights is, and there's actually another school that's near where I work and live in right now, or of course the King George School. But getting back to the plaque here, it says stone for the Sunalta School was cut by the near Bankview Quarry through the present-day Crowchild Chair, which now runs, which is just slightly west of here. The name of the school comes from the location between western addition to the Sunalta suburb, laid out between 1909 and 1912 by the CP Rail Land Department. In later years, as the population grew, the surrounding neighborhood is known as Scarborough. So as I touched on Sunalta and Scarborough, that this is the surrounding community, and I'm almost working my way back to the front where I started. I mean, it's not a huge school. I see that the school population on the CBE website says that there's 320 around attending right now, grades K to 6. But yeah, I mean, I think I might actually remember going out to the playground here. But, you know, I'm talking about 34 years, and I think I also had some mishaps, you know, little kid stuff. I think I remember one time I had a big glob of glue in my hair. I mean, it's very fuzzy. I also remember, you know, bus rides here. I think I remember one time, you know, being a little kid, I coughed on the bus, and the lady was kind of saying, you cover your mouth when you cough. I seem to kind of remember that. I mean, I don't have any hilarious stories. I don't remember another farting in the lunchroom story like I did on James Short, but I see this rock right here, and it just says Sunalta Grads, Rock On 2004. And I know there's another connection to 2004 because, you know, here in Calgary, that's the year of the, you know, the Calgary Flames Stanley Cup playoff run. I did remember in the news one time, of course, one of the favorite Flames, Martin Gelinas, of course, you know, got robbed on his birthday. His birthday was a week before mine, and Gemini's rule. That's why I say Gemini's rule. But I remember seeing on the news story that Martin Gelinas' kid, when Martin Gelinas still lives around here. I think Martin Gelinas actually lives around here. But his kid actually went to the school, and then I decided, hey, I went to the school. But yeah, I'm going working my way back up to the front here. I mean, this is old school in terms of I went here for kindergarten, and I went here inside the oldest school, one of the oldest schools in the city. But still was long bus rides considering I lived in Marlborough Park. But the school definitely has character, and of course this would be another school that I would be interested if I ever got to go inside and just to kind of see the character. I know that the King George School near where I live, which that's generally been the school that's used to when I vote in elections, I walk into the gymnasium, and the gymnasium kind of has that character and just that ceiling. There's just some charm with these old schools that I like, that I lost that, you know, in the elementary, the Cappy Smart, and when Dr. Egbert and even James Short. I mean, not saying that I said I had a social time at James Short, but just the character of the school, the architecture, just now that I'm in the engineering and planning industry. And that Crescent Heights has that charm just because of the old parts of the school. But this is what I have for Sunalta. But pan around, you can see you get a nice view of SAIT. There's a nice view of downtown. This whole area has definitely gotten revitalized a lot more to a commercial area. And then you can kind of see the LRT line, which the Sunalta station is elevated. And one of the reasons why they designed the station that high, not only to line up with Bow Trail and 17th Avenue to the west end of the city, where it stops at 69th Street, but actually it was the fact that the CP rail line outside, it had to be like double that height of the clearance for the LRT. So I got to go up to the pedestrian bridge to show one more view, and I'll take some pictures and close out this vlog on the go. Is I'm really kicking it old school here at Sunalta. So I'll see you up on the pedestrian bridge. Well, I'm up on the pedestrian bridge just off of Bow Trail and Crowchild Trail, as you see right here. But what I like about this shot right here for Sunalta School is that you get the shot of where everything began at Sunalta School in kindergarten, and you can see up above on that addition where the mural is, that's SAIT, the old campus. That's where ultimately I graduated from electrical engineering technology there in 2006. So you definitely get my whole journey summarized right here from where it began, and I'll loosely say where it ends. I mean, we're always learning, and you never know that down the road you might decide to change careers or do something else entirely. But I always am going to have a place at SAIT, obviously, and that's nearby where I live now. But this is here I am at Sunalta School. Just bear with me that it was 34 years ago that I went to school here, and you could say this is another big Calgary history moment, that being here for the 1988 Winter Olympics. I mean, I was too young to fully appreciate it, and similar to, you know, when I look back on James Short, where the Flames excuse me for a sec, where the Flames won the Stanley Cup in 1989. But it's very, very, you know, iffy. Just full memories I have here. I do remember going to school here. I do remember bus rides. I mean, I don't have any outrageous stories. I mean, nothing. No, I didn't have another farting in the lunchroom story to share. If I did, I probably would have already made a video on a second story. But I think I just remember got, you know, just going, you know, not really fully unaware of the situation. I do remember missing 1 week for a big bad snowstorm because the bus couldn't come by. Now that's not going to happen anymore with the virtual world, but you know, this is where I had kindergarten. I think the only other story, I don't remember if I shared it in the first clip, but I did remember getting a glob of glue in my hair. But nothing outrageous that stands out. I mean, forgive me, it's 34 years. I just had my 39th birthday, so I just know I come here. This is all part of my vlog on the go to reflect on my school journey from the past, and I got 2 more schools to talk about. That, of course, the Captain Smart and Dr. Aber, but I could do both of those all in the same day because they're both in the same neighborhood. But yeah, I just like these old sandstone school buildings that are still around in the city. And at my earliest school days, I was here in kindergarten, and it just represents another generation that you know, this new edition and get 1988 Winter Olympics. So that's all I have for this video. So as I can say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, you can kind of make up McMahon Stadium right there, and hopefully we'll be going to games later in 2021. But as I mostly do on my YouTube channels, I mostly do talk Calgary sports, recap games and stories, but I also do a variety of non-sports content, like personal vlogs, attempt at comedy, and also do share my experiences. Let's say I'm on the road or a sporting event, and just vlogging on the go, which is what's all about, whatever's on my mind. And been going through this, you know, reflecting back on schools from the past. As you know, this was supposed to be 20 years since I graduated from high school for union-wise, but I started off with that, and I've already made a video on my high school, and I will eventually come back there just to reflect on everything when I've done all my other schools. But you know, I've done the Dr. Oakley School, which I'm going to say that place is always a special place to me, just because I was more aware of my situation with a learning disability. I always have it, and in some way it doesn't define me, but on the other hand it kind of does. And I've been more open to embracing and sharing it a lot more, that I have a learning disability. I have no shame to saying that, and it kind of explains my journey. And this is why I think why I went to kindergarten here as well. And then I also did the James Short, which was the last school I did, which I'm going to say my school experience was so there, but my favorite Calgary Flame growing up went there, and of course the farting in the lunchroom story. So yeah, I'm just on the pedestrian bridge here, and people going by. But if that all sounds like it'd be interesting to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, you know what you do, just make sure you hit like and subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below for other ways you can follow me. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.